much for that nice introduction, Richard. When I was asked by Richard to be one of the presenters on this prestigious summit, actually we had a discussion, what could I present on this summit? You know, I'm not an expert in logistics, nor an expert on online that could make my presentation relevant on this summit. But when we discussed, he said, you know, why don't you just give your insight and your experience about what you think are your challenges in logistics and your transportation, so that at the end, you know, you can share your view. So, okay, so basically my, sorry. Okay, so basically I would like to focus on this perspective. And a small medium enterprise company, how I able to address the challenges of logistics for the past 12 years in managing Bisasa. Bisasa is a global luxury hotel brand from Italy, and I used to be the country manager for the past 7 years. And 5 years ago, I became the accidental entrepreneur, becoming the distributor here in the Philippines only. But at the same time, during all those periods, I am an importer, local distributor, as well as exporter. So, but during those periods, 11 years ago in 2004, this global Italian company decided to transfer the distribution point and assembly plant of the company for the whole Asia Pacific region from the Philippines to China. And I would like to expound on this, you know, what could be the reason. And of course, it's all about the factors of logistics, supply chain, and transportation factors. And despite the transfer 11 years ago to China, because, you know, Philippines is not really a market for Bisasa, because Bisasa is a very niche market, and we are just there to capitalize on the cheap labor cost and on the cheap rental expense, tax incentive. But what kept us able to have an assembly plant here, we still have the presence of assembly plant in the Philippines, despite Philippines as not being the primary target market. And of course, I will expound that the reason could be on our Filipino craftsmanship, versatility, and workers' expertise. And after 10 years until now, what could we see in the future, despite all the challenges in logistics that we are facing right now? That at this end, I'm still looking forward for a good opportunity for a company in the advent of the ASEAN Economic Community and become a distribution hub again for the Philippines. Not necessarily for the whole Asia Pacific region, but at least for the Southeast Asian region. So that is what I'd like to present to you. So, okay, of course, to further tell you on that story, allow me to give a big background about our company. Right now, our warehouse is strategically located in Bacoor, Cavite, so it's near in the Metro Manila, where our clients really is. But of course, we have some clients also in other parts of the country. And that's our motto, inspiring professionalism and integrity. And of course, we have our showroom at Bonifacio Global City, where we could meet our clients, discuss business, and show our product line. And of course, we have also dealers all over the Philippines, primarily Wilcon and Multhal and Dal dealers in the country. Okay? Of course, the reason we were able to survive from being just an assembly plant of Bisasa, because, you know, before, we used to have a good market for the whole Asia Pacific region, but at the end, if you are just a distributor for the Philippine market, then we cannot survive with that high operating expenses. So we have to ensure and diversify the installation, and because we have people who are expert in installation, we diversify into construction and fit out, and because of that, we are able to come up with a high modular kitchen for cabinets that complement Bisasa as dashboard. And because of that, we were able to construct and build our own hotel and resort operations that hopefully sooner, by April 2007, in my hometown of Balea, will get operated for them. So in this short period of time, 5 years, we're trying to diversify immediately so that we could be able to stand the test of time by the time that we will already be harvesting all this land. But of course, we're a highly leveraged company. But the biggest financier is, of course, Isasa. And then, of course, because of our competency in the backfill operation, I'm a CPA by profession, and we are good in the business support. You know, the Asia Pacific director of Isasa, who set up his own business already, he partnered with me that I will become the support service from accounting, administration, and payroll that will comply with all the regulatory bodies. Okay. So anyway, I'll go back to my perspective of the framework that I would like to present to you. Visasa used to be the export processing zone area in Cavite, primarily to really be the distribution point for its primary target market, you know, the first world country of Korea, China, Hong Kong, and other part of the Southeast Asian region. So, not really to really market in the Philippines. And of course, we have big warehouse there and set up, and of course, we have the assembly plant because we import the loose tile from Italy and India and then export it to the neighboring country. Finished product already. So, but at the end, Visasa decided to transfer to China. Of course, we started looking on the part of those team to really go around to China. First, we are in the Guangdong province, but they decided to set it up in the Waigaoqiao. This was almost 12 years ago, 10 years ago in 2005, and you can see the advantage. You know, as compared, you know, in Waigaoqiao, you have a good supply chain because you can able to source out all your indirect materials necessary to ship it out to the port. We shouldn't need to transport in long driving because it will just be transported near the port. And we have efficient and faster distribution of goods for export. As you can see in Waigaoqiao, it's located also near the vicinity of Beijing and of Shanghai. Of course, that's our primary target market for Visasa. It is near in the Shanghai airport. So everything is properly planned, logistically, strategically, as compared to our Cavite export processing zone. You know, of course, it's a good location, but during that time, 10 years ago, there was no even expressway from Cavite to the coastal, and it's around 32.7 kilometers, you know, to transfer. And with all the truck ban and everything, you could already see the challenges. You know, I continue trying to fight for the, you know, to put Philippines as the hub. You know, I always, because, you know, as a country manager, I still able to contact to the Asia Pacific controller. I always pointed out to them, this was even 2011. You know, we have a lower lead time as compared to China and even India. We have lower costs, but you know, that's not important. We have average lower cost, you know, 25% higher in Shanghai. Rental expense, 231. That was almost 5 years ago. And you can see it will continue to increase right now. That's what the insight that I would share. But during this period, because we need, again, now I'm talking on the perspective, how did we survive? Supposed to be the one to close the whole operation, right? Because anyway, Philippines is not a target market for Visasa. So we transferred outside of the export zone, near Bacoor, Cavite. I was able to maximize the same expertise of my workers there. And of course, at the time, since I'm on the transition, I continue to be the support service for the China. So I continue to export from time to time. So that's the justification that I did. And of course, that's why I said, rather than just resting and accepting that fact, we have to do something about it. We have to innovate. So one good thing, in order for us to be relevant for the Asia Pacific region, we strengthen our capabilities in the hand-cut pattern. You know, that's what good thing about us Filipinos. We are craftsmen, we are good, and then we do it on our own. Supposed to be there's a training in Italy, but we did it on our own because I cannot send people in Italy to be trained because you know I'm on my own already. And then luckily, you know, the casinos came in here sometimes, so you know, I'm one of the beneficiaries for the setting up of the casino here. You know, most of the swimming pool, the library that you see there is Visasa. You know, it's made by us, and especially for the hand. But I was able to maximize the worker. Okay. And of course, we strengthen our design capabilities. You know, that's one thing that we continue to serve the China. And of course, Italy really outsourced for the installation of their mosaic. But I develop our own because nobody knows how to install mosaic here in the Philippines. So we have no other choice but to develop on our own. Right now, we are proud to say that we are the most authoritative when it comes to installation here in the Philippines. That we are now even outsourcing, or being outsourced by China to do something for Australia, for some of their projects. in outside of the country. So we continue, because of this capability, we continue to increase our sales. You know, of course, every year they want to close that, but how can you close it? 35% I continue to grow the sales. You know, but of course, sometimes when you're growing, then another, you know, there may be, I introduced glass mosaic here in the Philippines, but we are now continuing glassing with the China mosaic tile, and it's just a fraction of our cost. So how can we really survive? So I was not able to continue the momentum because you know, Italy wants you to really grow and grow. And by the time, forget it. We're about to close already because you know China is independent already. You cannot export anymore. So I'll close it. So they said that you know can I be the exclusive distributor? So that's what they did. So they lent me the stocks, the resources, and I pay it long term. So they actually financed me in order for me to buy the company here in the Philippines. So I set up, I became involved, and then set up a very luxurious showroom in Bonifacio Global City. And that's the rest thing, you know, because of the continuous growing rate of wages in China, they decided to go down in Foshan, you know, because of the expensive cost in Baigao. If you go to Baigao right now, the last time I was there, I think 3 years ago, it's almost a ghost town. Because a lot of foreign investors also leaving because of the higher cost of operating there. So of course, they become more competitive as compared to us. But what we're saying is that we continue to innovate. We acquire a modular kitchen that complement Bisasa, so I was able to continue and align the Bisasa product to other businesses that we have. Of course, we wanted to continue, show that we're a quality company. At 2013, I joined already Asian CEO, and I was the finalist for Quality Company of the Year award. And because of that, you know, we continue to benefit. Bisasa continue to benefit from us because of our craftsmanship. We even sent people to install big projects in Australia. So our workers were even being an expert for at least for 3 months. Okay? So that's our story. But in order for us to survive, what we think is that we need to have integrity. We always operate with professionalism and integrity. When we import, we must be complying with all the regulatory requirements. And I think right now, you know, that's the benefit of a small, medium enterprise company. You have more confidence in dealing with government because you know you're protected. Because I think our current government is really wanted to make sure that the corruption will not only be on the high level but even down to the line. So I think that's the more you create integrity for your business. We have small fleet of distribution, no, for local operations, but for import and export, of course, we have various different partners on that. And that's what I'm saying. Right now, we are confident. After all these challenges that we face, we wanted to make sure that we continue to have a good opportunity for us. You know, not only for us, but for SME. Because I have that kind of mindset that this government is strong. Maybe that's like what they're doing in China. They can impose when they wanted to impose something changes, you know, that needed to be done in order for us to have a good logistic and operational system. So what I'm saying is that the insight is that, you know, I'm talking about brick and mortar operation. So I'm talking on that perspective. So hopefully, you know, what I'm seeing is that we could do almost the same kind of strategic setup, just like that in Baigao. You know, this kind of proposal must really be executed as soon as possible. You know, because if you put the international seaport and Sanlibon International Airport within the vicinity of the Rosario Export Processing Zone, then it's so easy to ship goods inside and outside, and it decongest the traffic because all the trucks will not go to the North Harbor to do it. So you know, that's the insight that I see based on the perspective that I've been exposed during my stint as the Asia Pacific Controller and eventually as the country manager for Bisasa. So with all this kind of perspective that I have, that's why looking forward, I see that we could strengthen the communication market by being able to present to management the changing landscape of the economic environment in the region and capitalization on our organizational people strength. And I'm still having that ambition that, you know, it's a good, that 10 years ago, the distribution point lost to us. But hopefully, as a real country, as a real Filipino company, we could get back the distribution point. Not necessarily for the whole Asia Pacific region, but at least for the ASEAN country because of the advent of the economic community. And not only that, because of the strength of our people capability that we're able to develop during the last 10 years, we might be even sending people to these countries, because of our Filipino craftsmanship, management skill. And so that's the thing that I'm trying to say and share to you on what I think, what is needed to do for our country. Thank you very much.